Hey, welcome inside Zippy's Garage. In today's episode, we're taking a ride over to Beverly National Cemetery to participate in Wreaths Across America. So stick around. Hey, welcome inside Zippy's Garage. If you're new here, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Jeff Zippity Doodah, and this YouTube channel is dedicated to the fun and games associated with being an automotive enthusiast. So if that sounds something that's interesting to you, please consider subscribing to the channel, follow me over on Instagram as well, and give today's video a thumbs up if you like the content. The channel's just about a year old, so I'm still learning on what I'm doing, but I'm having fun doing it, having fun reading your comments, and folks seem to like the content, so we'll continue to do so. So with that said, today is Saturday, December 18th, 2021, the last Saturday before Christmas. It's cold, it's damp, it's dreary outside. Not necessarily good car show weather per se. But today's video isn't about a car show. It's about what the car community is doing, is what corporate sponsors are doing to help raise awareness for an event called Wreaths Across America. And this is something that really gained traction. It's been going on long before 2005, but really got national exposure in 2005 when photos of Arlington National Cemetery showed wreaths laid up against the headstones of all the fallen veterans. And since then, it's gone on and taken on a much bigger persona. So if you go to wreathsacrossamerica.org, you'll learn more about the event. And today in Beverly National Cemetery over in Beverly, New Jersey, I'm going to go over and see what it's all about. My first time attending, so I'm looking forward to it. And then come to find out that one of the local Corvette clubs here, Lakes Corvette Club in southern New Jersey, outside in Medford, New Jersey, is actually a sponsor of Wreaths Across America here locally in Burlington County. So I'm going to go over and connect up and see what it's all about over there. Really looking forward to it. I'm also really thrilled that Tyson Foods, my employer, is also a big national sponsor of this event. And at Tyson Foods, we have what are called business resource groups, or BRGs as we refer to them as. And I am a member of the Veterans BRG, and my father is a veteran of the United States Army. So thank you, Dad. I am proud of that. I am also a member of the Leaders of Tomorrow BRG, as well as the Women's BRG. We've got, I think, a total of 8 different BRGs. There's Asian and Allies, there's the Pride Network. So it's Tyson's way to help with inclusion and, you know, all the diversity that we have across Tyson Foods. So thank you to Tyson for doing that and allowing us to, you know, be a part of these different groups and organizations. So with that said, and how the Corvette ties into it, again, the National Corvette Museum sweatshirt on here today. My local Corvette club is doing stuff out in the community today. This is a case of not being able to be in 2 places at one time. So the Wreaths Across America has been on my calendar for quite some time since I found out that Tyson was a part of it. So I've had this on my calendar for a couple of months now. So what the original Garden State Corvette Club is doing, my local club, we're actually out doing some food donations today. And I'll be sure to link a bunch of photographs here at the end. Not sure where I'll fit them into the video, but be sure to stick around for those photographs. But the original Garden State Corvette Club has partnered with Ristelli's Market Fresh, a high-end grocery store over in Marlton, New Jersey, and Ristelli's is matching our donations dollar for dollar. We purchased $1,000 worth of non-perishable product, and Ristelli's actually donated a little bit more than $1,000 of product. So we have over $2,000 that were worth of food that we're going to be out delivering today. So members showed up in their pickup trucks. A couple of them actually brought out their Corvettes today on a damp and dreary day and loaded up their vehicles, and they're headed over to the Angels Outreach Facility in Pittman, New Jersey, and then over to the Atco Presbyterian Church in Atco, New Jersey, which has its own food kitchen. So it just goes to show how the car community, not just my club, the original Garden State Corvette Club, but how Lakes Corvette Club and all these car community organizations are helping to give back to the community and where we live and work. So not only are we doing the food donations today with our club, but over the last week here, we've reached out to a bunch of school districts across southern New Jersey, from Burlington County, Camden County, Gloucester County, Atlantic County, all the way, outside of Atlantic City, with local school districts, to find out where the families that are in most need of support this holiday season. And we went out and purchased just over $1,000 of various gift cards to retailers such as Target and Walmart. And we partnered with the schools to find out where those families were and gave those family gift cards so that they could go out and purchase necessary items, whether it be diapers, clothing, food, and quite frankly, it could be gifts for the holiday season. So we are actively out there getting those gift cards distributed, and hopefully here after the holidays, we'll have some photographs of these kids on Christmas morning opening up some of their presents. And then I'm wearing my Bowling Green, my National Corvette Museum Bowling Green, Kentucky sweatshirt today. I think everybody knows what happened with the tornadoes over the last week, and my club also kind of rallied to that, and we're sending down a donation of probably around $1,200 down to the Corvette Museum, who has set up a fund to help the local infrastructure. The money's not going to the museum, but the museum is going to get it down to the areas that need it most to help support those families down in Kentucky that were decimated from those tornadoes over the past week. So with that said, let's jump in the car and we're going to take a ride over to Beverly National Cemetery to see what Wreaths Across America is all about. Okay, folks, like I said, Zippity's Garage out on location today. And like I said, most YouTube videos are a little bit over the top and high energy. Today is certainly high energy, but it's a much, much more somber event to celebrate what we're commemorating today. And we are out at the Beverly National Cemetery in Beverly, New Jersey, and you can see the entrance here is starting to fill up. Folks getting ready for the ceremony that's going to start in about another 10 or 15 minutes, and you can see the parking lot across the street is quite full. And it is about 40 degrees outside, damp and rainy here in mid-December. But we're out here with the Lakes Corvette Club, and this is Ted, the president of the Lakes Corvette Club in Medford Lakes, New Jersey. And Ted, tell me a little bit more about Lakes Corvette Club and how you guys gotten involved with this.
Well, Lakes Corvette Club, obviously, as with the original Garden State, we support a lot of outside agencies. One of the ones that has been closest to our heart for years has been Wreaths Across America, for the obvious reason. I think our veterans are just so underrated and unappreciated. So we make sure every year we become a part of this the ceremony with the veterans, and it's just a somber moment, like you had said. I know it has grown over the years only because when I first started coming here 4 years ago, the parking, of course, the area where that was my secret spot. I was able to hold a spot there. Now I have to get here early so I can get a spot. So it's a great event, and I encourage more people to become a part of this every year.
Yeah, I can absolutely attest to that. So, it doesn't matter if you're a car guy, in the car hobby or what have you, any civic organization.
Absolutely.
Please get involved with this. Wreaths Across America. For more information, I'll link information down below. I'm not sure how much coverage we're going to get because, quite frankly, we want to respect the veterans, and we are in a cemetery, so we're going to watch how much video we actually do. But, quick little pan around. Here's a school bus pulling in and dropping off a load of folks to come out and do this wreath laying ceremony today. Easy for you to say.
Yeah.
So with that said, guys, more to come from the Beverly National Cemetery for Wreaths Across America.
Color guard, present colors.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now for our presentation, we would like to introduce Colonel Joe Martin, United States Army, Commander of the Riverside JRTC. Sir?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Glad to see all of you come out today. I know there's a lot of other places that you can be, but I thank you for your willingness and your dedication and your devotion for coming here today to honor those who have served. This year, across the country at more than 3,100 participating locations like this one, there are millions of Americans gathering safely as one nation to remember, honor, and teach. We are all proud to be Americans that live in a free society made up of many people from many walks of life. The freedoms we enjoy today have not come without a price. Lying here before us and in cemeteries throughout the nation are men and women who gave their lives so that we can live in freedom and without fear. We can worship as we see fit. We can raise our children to believe as we do. We are free to vote for the leaders for who we choose, and we have the right to succeed and we have the right to fail at whatever endeavor we wish to pursue. The United States of America was founded on the ideals of freedom, justice, and equality. Our nation stands as a shining beacon of liberty and freedom to the rest of the world. We thank those who gave their lives to keep us free, and we shall not forget. We shall remember. Today, more than ever, we reflect on our nation's veterans and active duty service members who have had and continue to fight to protect the innocent and oppressed. This nation has always been the first to stand up for the freedom of people from around the world. Many of you here today have answered that call and have served our country. For this we say thank you, and we are honored to know you. There are men and women serving today in all branches of the military, here at home and places far away that most of us have never heard of. These men and women are part of the best trained, best equipped force in the world. We honor them and their families for the sacrifices they make each day to keep our country safe from terrorism, hatred, and injustice. This year, we've added an additional ceremonial wreath to honor the men and women currently serving in the U.S. Space Force, along with those veterans who have served in roles helping to secure our national interests in space. Quoting our 40th President of the United States, Ronald Reagan, quote, "Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction." We didn't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same, or one day we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was once like in the United States where men were free. Today, we show a united front of gratitude and respect across the United States of America as we remember the fallen, honor those who serve and their families, and teach the next generation the value of freedom. Color Guard, present arms. Now, Sergeant Christian Membrano, United States Army, will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Army. Now, Corporal Max Van Doren, United States Marine Corps, will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Marine Corps. Lieutenant Patrick Rutherford. Naval Sea Cadet Corps will lay a wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Navy. Major Gary Hunsinger, United States Air Force, will lay a veterans wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Air Force. Major Dan White, Civil Air Patrol, will lay a veterans wreath in honor of those who are serving in the United States Space Force. Commander Brian Tilley, United States Coast Guard, will lay a veterans wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Coast Guard. Lieutenant Colonel Richard Surface, United States Air Force, representing the Sons of the American Revolution as Major Surface of the 3rd New Jersey Regiment, part of George Washington's Continental Army, will lay a veterans wreath in honor of the 93,129 United States servicemen from all branches of the service whose last known status was either prisoners of war or missing in action. These individuals have never returned to their families and homes, and we shall never forget. Lieutenant Colonel Jennifer Rudolph, Civil Air Patrol, will lay a wreath in memory of our first responders and healthcare workers. Each wreath is a gift of appreciation from a grateful nation. These live balsam fir wreaths symbolize our honor to those who have served and are serving in the armed forces of our great nation and their families who endure sacrifices every day on our behalf. To our children, we want you to understand that the freedoms you enjoy today have not been free, but have come with a cost that someday you may have to pay yourself. As a nation standing together, we can defeat terrorism, hatred, and injustice. Thanks to our veterans, we have the freedom to do just that. At this time, Tim Sperry,
Thank you, Colonel. I appreciate you doing that. Now we would like to invite Senator Troy Singleton, District 7, to say a few words.
Ladies and gentlemen, there was an expression that was discussed about this ground in which we're standing on. Mother Nature has impacted the ground, and the ground was said to be soft. But another phrase that I would ask you to think about today is the hallowed ground in which we all stand. It is hallowed because it is consecrated by the sacrifice of the men and women whose grave markers we're going to place wreaths on. It is consecrated because these individuals of different faiths, different ethnicities, different political ideologies all made a commitment up to and including their very lives in defense of something greater than themselves. I think the Colonel talked about that far more eloquently than I. That is incumbent upon us, if we leave here with nothing else, let us reflect upon that sacrifice and what it means for each and every one of us, each and every day, who are not called to do that, but are called to honor and live as those patriots have lived, by being willing to put something greater than themselves on the line for one another. In this tumultuous time in which we live today, I think it's a lesson we can all learn, a lesson we can all embody. The ideal that we as Americans are always united when we are working and we are better together. That doesn't mean we don't always have to agree, but it does mean that we have an obligation to one another to make sure the sacrifice of the men and women who you will be honoring today and the names that you will say out loud, that dash in the middle, not their sunrise or sunset, but that dash in the middle means something more to each of us that we take from here and we use it to mark our days moving forward. That we will honor their sacrifice by giving them a country that they were proud to give their lives for. Let us never lose sight of that. Let us never lose sight that there are still men and women around this globe who are willing to raise their right hand in defense of American ideals that each and every one of us cherish and hold dear. Let us honor that commitment with how we govern ourselves as we move from this place here today. I am honored that so many of you, as they say in the church, did not feel it robbery to give a little of your time to be here today. And for all of our young folks that are here today and those parents who brought their young folks, I'm so appreciative of you of showing them what a commitment of all of us working together, even in this small way, can be so impactful. I thank each and every one of you for your attendance here today. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
And all of the volunteers here today to help us accomplish our mission. We couldn't do it without your support, and I thank you for your service. Lastly, we ask everyone take 2 wreaths to ensure that everyone hears.
Okay guys, still out here at the cemetery being very somber. I tell you what, it's pretty emotional being out here. Trying to be quiet as well, but there's got to be 500 people out here today. It's just a mass cemetery, and I've been out here for 5 minutes or so and there's still people coming through. It's just unbelievable to see this. American pride, and what struck me is what the senator said is when you're out here looking at the gravestones and looking at the dates. I'm gonna stop here and look at Rose. Let's take a look here. We're gonna look at Marie. I'm sorry, because what I wanted to show you, come on now. what caught me with the senator was not looking at the sunrise or the sunset, but looking at the dash, in between August 31, 1927 and September 8th, 1983, and honoring that time in between. And it was said is you die twice, when you leave this world and then when someone stops speaking your name. So here's to Russell C. Ricard Jr., DCC, U.S. Navy, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. God bless you, Russell. God bless USA. Okay, so my camera kind of died while we were outside there at the cemetery, so I was able to change batteries and got back into the car where it's a little bit warm. So let me tell you, that was quite an emotional experience. First time I was ever a part of that. And hopefully the audio comes through from the speakers and so forth. I did try to get as close as I could to the folks that were up at the podium and so forth, but also trying to be, respectful to all the folks that were gathered there. Like I said, it is a cemetery, and like I also mentioned at the start of the video, YouTube is usually over the top, excited and this and that, but today was a much more somber ceremony. But I'm already planning on doing this again next year. I've already, texted my wife and daughter that we're going to do this next year as a family. They were out. My daughter still, she teaches little kids at a dance studio. My daughter's only 12 years old, but she's a teacher's assistant in ballet and absolutely loves doing that. So they were out doing that this morning so I could learn more about what this event was all about. But we're certainly going to be doing this again next year as a family. And what was really cool while I was out there, I knew I was going to see folks from the Corvette Club, from Lake's Corvette Club, and we connected. But what I didn't realize is I ran into friends from the local community that had no military backing at all. So they found out about the event, wanted to come over and support it, just to say thank you to the veterans and so forth. And then I also ran into a coworker, somebody who I work with in the food industry. So it was really, really neat to, see folks from, running the people that at these different events. And I did look up some details on the cemetery. So let me read off some of the details that I found. And you can find this on Wikipedia or on the Wreaths Across America site. So Beverly National Cemetery was opened in 1863. So it's been around quite a while. It is just over 64.5 acres in coverage. So when I was walking around and saying how big it was, I couldn't believe how large it was. I've driven by it dozens of times, but never realized the breadth of how big the place was. So just over 64 acres. There are 4 Medal of Honor recipients who are laid to rest at Beverly National Cemetery. So that's pretty interesting and cool. And then on Wikipedia, it doesn't give the exact number of grave sites, but it says less than 50,000. So my assumption there that there's more than 40,000. And I believe it after walking around and just showing you what was there. Unbelievable. And at the start of the event, they tell you to take 2 wreaths and walk out to the gravesite, lay that wreath on the headstone and read the person's name aloud so that, that person's name can then be spoken. And that was what really got me as far as over the top, as far as emotionally is what hit me, because like the speaker said, you die twice. You die once your body leaves the earth, and then you die a second time when people stop saying your name. So with that said, it was pretty impactful reading these names out loud. And after I laid my 2 wreaths, I'm walking back towards the front, and there were still piles and piles of wreaths, hundreds of them. So I did what a couple of the servicemen and women that were there, we basically scooped up a bunch of wreaths and lined our arms, both, probably had a half a dozen different wreaths on each arm, and walked out to the cemetery and laid all of those wreaths out. So all told, I probably, set out about 20 different wreaths, and I dropped my cheat sheet here. So with that said, put it on your calendar for next year for your local communities. The Wreaths Across America Day for 2022 will be Saturday, December 17th. So again, it looks like they're following the same cadence where it's the last Saturday before Christmas. Or Christmas weekend, I should say. So Saturday, December 17th, 2022, check out wreathsacrossamerica.org for more information on how you can buy and support wreaths nationally, but then also find out locally where a ceremony may be held. I have a friend from the Allentown area. She went up to Washington's Crossing, where George Washington crossed the Delaware River during the Revolutionary War. She said there was a 2-mile backup to get into the cemetery and waited hours, but was finally able to get into the cemetery. So it was really nice to hear all the stories about, this event being held all across the country. So with that said, I don't know how many more videos. I do have some information coming out on a video that's dropping tomorrow. So I'll be sure to put that up on my Instagram and as well as YouTube here. So be sure to watch for that. I'm excited to announce what's coming out there. But I just want to say Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year to all the folks that have been watching the channel, to all the car community that's been supporting the original Garden State Corvette Club and Lakes Corvette Club throughout the entire year. Your support at these different events allows these different civic and car community organizations to give back to the community. So with that said, happy holidays, happy new year, and we'll see you again soon coming out of Zippy's Garage. Thanks, guys.